Hello and welcome to Church360 Members Webinar for Intern Attendance. My name is Buffy Alvarez. I'm an Associate Marketing Manager for Concordia Technology Solutions and Church Supplies. I've been with Concordia Publishing House now for almost 19 years. On the screen you'll see my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me anytime after the webinar. We're always here to help. A little housekeeping today. We'll be covering 25 minutes. We'll allow 25 minutes for the presentation. We'll allow 5 minutes for questions. And you may ask questions throughout. I'll have the chat box open and I will try to answer them all before the webinar concludes. If I do run out of time, I'll definitely answer after the webinar. Also, want to point out the recording will be shared on Concordia Technology YouTube page for those who are unable to attend or would like to share within the office. Today on our training outline, we will be discussing events, and we'll go through the calendar and events view. We'll go into attendance. We'll discuss individual, head count, and then we'll go into some shortcuts, which will include keyboard, smart groups, and regular attendees. We'll move along to reports, and then we'll follow up with the question and answer. Let's go ahead and let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen to the Church360 members login. And as you can see, we're currently on the people view, but I would like to take us to the events, which is the second tab at the top. And at the top, it will show you the month that you're in, and it's currently on September. You'll also see that on the calendar, there's a variety of colors. Each color represents an event. And if you place your mouse over the event, you'll find more details. And as you scroll down, you may see some events that are faded. Those events have passed. If you go to the upper right side, you can click on calendar to view all the different calendars. An event can be associated with more than one calendar. With Church360 members, it does come with some standard calendars such as education and fellowship, worship. You can see those. Let's see. We have education, fellowship, and then worship. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck those calendars so we can discuss anniversary calendars. Let's go ahead and click on baptism. Now let's do birthdays, confirmation, and wedding anniversaries. We also have deaths. The death anniversaries give an opportunity for pastoral care to offer support and comfort to your members. Next, I want to take a look at the pastoral visits. If you go up to the settings icon, you can click on pastoral visits, and you can view the details such as date and purpose of the visit. These events are also part of the people view, and you can track your communications, your visits, and phone calls. So if I go over to the People view, which is the first tab, and I'm going to filter by Yvonne's name, I can see here there was a note. This is where your pastoral visits can be seen in the history of the profile. Let's go ahead and go back to the events view. And I would like to view the board meetings that are scheduled for the rest of the month. So I'm going to go over to calendars. I'm going to uncheck all the calendars and select the one I'm needing, which is board meeting. You can also view this event by the week. And both the monthly and weekly views, you can save a report, you can print them, and you can actually export them to Microsoft Word. And here is what the month view looks when exported. And you'll be able to customize it more if need be. Let's go ahead and take a look at the week. Let's export the week. This is useful when you're creating your monthly newsletters or your weekly bulletins. All right, I'm going to go back to the month view. Now let's go ahead and let's add an event. Next to events, you'll click on the new tab. Now let's name the event. We'll do Fall Gathering. I'll go ahead and add it to the Mission Outreach calendar. Choose your location. Main parking lot. Set your date. Let's make this an all-day event. You can also put a description. You can say community outreach, activities for children. Say chili cook-off. We do want to take attendance, so please be sure to check your attendance box, or if you're going to be serving communion, or if there's going to be offering taken. And then click Add. And you can also track all events related to a calendar. And if you go to Settings and you click on Calendars, here you'll be able to view your list as well as how many events per month. Let's go ahead and let's add a new calendar. This one here I'm going to name Community Outreach. And then you'll choose the color you would like and click Add. Let's go back to Events. I'm going to choose the event, which is October 21st. And we put it under the Mission Outreach. And here you'll see our event. If you go ahead and click on this, we can also add the new calendar we just created. And then save. You can also add weekly events. If you go up to events and click the new tab, we'll do a women's Bible study. Let's add it to the women's Bible study calendar. Jill will be hosting. And since we're going to be meeting on Thursdays, let's go ahead and let's mark this as an event to repeat. And it's actually going to be starting on the 14th. And it will be ending on the 12th of October. Our times will be from 6 to 7. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck Friday since we're meeting on Thursdays. We also want to make sure we can include the end date, October 12th. And then you can say bring snacks. And then attendance taken. Click add. Go up to your calendars. And I click check and then unclick check just to make it easier when I'm scrolling through so I can go directly to the calendar I need. And here you'll be able to see the women's Bible study is for Thursdays. And you can change that out if you want to meet every other week, once a month. Let's go ahead and go back to our calendars there, our events. Now that we have an understanding of the events, it will help us as we move on to the main topic of the webinar, which is attendance. Attendance you'll find is the third tab at the top. Let's go ahead. And on the right side of the page, you'll see the calendar of events. These are all events that require attendance. Let's go ahead and take a look at the worship service, midweek service. Here you'll see it'll have the date, and then below we'll list all of the names of the people who attended church, and they're listed by household. This list is also being pulled by the people view. And you can actually arrange the view in people view. So if we go over to, let me pick out a family here. We'll do Williams. Go to the people view. I'm going to search for Williams. Click on the Williams household. And this here is where you will change the order of the family members. And it's really a preference call. Right now it's going to the husband, wife, and then it goes down to the children. Let's go ahead and let's go back to attendance. You can also enter individual attendance by clicking on the person's name. So Troy attended, or I can just say Edgar attended. You can also select the household, and it will count for all members. Church360 members will automatically save your work when you're entering the attendance. Now let's say you cannot remember all who attended, but when you did a head count, you did a head count of 8. And if you can add the additional head count at the bottom of the screen. So right now we currently have 5, but I know 8 attended, so we're going to just put in the additional 3. And as you can see, our total over here is now 8. It's at the bottom right side of the page. You can also enter attendance by individual. You can go to the filter box and type their name in. Say I want to look for Brian. There we go. And now you can just click that individual and it counts as an attendee. All right. Okay. Moving on, let's go ahead and let's talk about some keyboard shortcuts. In this filter box, I'm going to search for Rebecca Freeman. And as you can see, Rebecca's name does pop up. You use the tab key to move the focus below. Use the space bar to highlight the attendee. And you can also use the shortcut. Another shortcut are the letters Q, W, and E. So if I strike the Q key, that will take attendance. If I use the W key, that's for communion. And then if I strike the E key, it's for regular attendance. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page to the right side on the I, open that up and click on shortcuts. It'll give you the details of all the shortcuts that you can use. Another shortcut are smart groups. If you go up here under download, you can see where you can customize. You can keep track of your attendance by limiting your view based on certain criteria. And you have options, and we did the attended board meeting during the month, and I would be interested in September. And then I'm going to save my group. To-do list for September of 2017. And you can go through, search for your list, and this is where the regular attendees come in. At the bottom of the page, next to regular, if you select all, it will take the total attendance of everyone on the list. Now let's go over to reports. It's the last tab at the top. Next to reports, select new, choose attendance, and you can choose your date. And we're currently on the members, and our calendar is worship. And you'll see a timeline of the date that you selected, and you'll also see in the graph Those that are highlighted, these are the days that your members attended. This wraps up our webinar for today. You can visit our blog for updates at church360members.com/blog. For additional training, you may purchase the training manual. And once again, my name is Buffy Alvarez, and here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions to today's webinar. Thank you for attending. Have a great afternoon.